welcome to our program for tonight. Our resource person is Mrs. Eunice Baba Anno. She is the CEO of Bake Series GMB. Her specialities are cakes, desserts, food, decorating supply, little adorable kits, African clothing, beaded and fascinators, and hats. She also holds a degree from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and she did BA Rural Arts. She's blessed with 4 wonderful children. Let's have fun and learn how we can nurture our dream businesses. Over to you, Mrs. Anno.
Good evening, ladies. I thank God for this beautiful evening, and I thank Agnes as well for giving me this opportunity to share a few things on the topic nurturing a dream business. And I just want to thank all of you too for this opportunity. The topic for the week is nurturing a dream business. But before we go into that, I just hope you are all keeping safe in these times. And we are all hoping and trusting God to take us through. And just as we always say, this too shall pass. Amen. Okay, so nurturing a dream business. We all know a dream will always remain a dream until it comes into reality. So on the first day, we have 3 days. So on the first day, we are going to look at how to choose if you don't have any business in mind, but you have a passion to go into business. We'll look at business in general one, and then how to choose a business and start it. And if you have the business idea already, how to turn it into reality. And on the second day, we'll look at challenges. It is one thing businesses can't run away from. They are just there. But then God being so good, there are solutions. And if we are able to adapt these solutions, it will definitely help us stay in business and give out our best. And on the third day, God willing, I'll share my story. I mean, how I began and how I got here. I personally feel it's encouraging because it has encouraged a few friends and other people out there. And I know it will encourage at least some of us, and it will also inspire some of us so that we'll be able to come out of maybe our shells, or if there is any fear, we'll be able to break loose and start. So until then, I hope this topic is going to be more interactive. Okay, if you have anything like a question or something, you can just bring it up as we um go into the topic. And then um, I know and believe strongly that there'll be testimonies after this, and I'm trusting God that at the end of this session, I mean, we'll be able to, those of us who have that dream of starting and don't really know how, I believe strongly that at the end of this session, we'll be able to launch out there and make an impact. Let's enjoy this evening together and the rest of the day. Thank you. So now the question is, what is business? Basically, business is anything, any form of work or profession that one is engaged in. If you are a teacher, a nurse, or maybe you work in an organization, what we do is we attach so much importance to it because we know that is what puts food on our table. But then if it comes to our own business, it really helps if you bring that mindset that this is not just any work I'm doing, but this is my profession. This is what I want to do. This is what is going to help put food on my table. Then it will make you attach so much importance to whatever business you dream to have. So one, if you have the business, okay, if you have maybe it's a dream to open a store. Let me pick it from that angle. You want to open a store, maybe you want to sell a hardware. You should have a purpose, okay, why you want to run the business. I remember when I was preparing to marry, during one of our counseling session, we happened to have this man there, Prof. Ellis. He was then the vice chancellor of KNUS, and the man made a certain statement. He said that most of the time, when they train graduates, they expect them to come out to create jobs for people, not only to come and add up to those who are already in the house and not having jobs. And the very day the man made, I've always thought of opening a business, but the whole mindset was, I mean, you do it to get the money. That was my main purpose. But when the man said that you have to go out there and open something or create jobs for people, my main purpose became, I want to create jobs for people. I just want people to wake up in the morning, come to my firm or my organization or whatever business I'm running, and see it as, I mean, this is where I earn a living. Okay, so if you have that idea, or if you have that belief that no, I want to create jobs for people, it is one of the main things that also fuels you, okay, to run a business. Okay, so now after thinking about others, the next person to consider is yourself. You have to think through the business idea you have. Do you have the required skills to run it, or the experience? And are you also passionate about it? Sometimes I believe passion is everything. If you are passionate about it, when hard time comes, you will be able to sail through just because of the passion you have for what you are doing. And also, as a mother or as a wife, you also have to evaluate a business. I call it business life style fit. Maybe looking at your schedule, you have to really consider the business you are choosing, if it will be able to fit into your lifestyle as a mother or as a wife. Definitely, if you are a mother, you have kids you have to take care of after school. So if you are choosing a business, you have to choose a business that requires you working almost the whole day to maybe evening or night. It's really going to affect your home. Okay, so you just have to evaluate and check, okay, will this thing really fit my schedule as a mother or as a wife? Because you can't cheat one side and then like robbing Peter to pay Paul. You just have to make sure it is balanced, okay, so that everything can run smoothly for you. Once a person, that is why I said one is passion. Okay, you just don't have to do it because, I mean, it's business, or you are just doing it. Once the passion is there, okay, a business minded person is always looking out for a problem. Once I see that there is a need, then I have to create a job or an opportunity to meet that need that will earn some money, or that will create a job for somebody who is out there and is looking for employment. You get it? So sometimes just study the season, just study the trend. Maybe looking at this season, it's COVID-19, okay? But then you realize that during the lockdown, if you want to run a business, okay, it will still work. But then if you want to run a business that you have to deal in clothing, people are locked in their homes. So what are they using their clothes for? They wouldn't need it for anything. Okay, so if now everybody is out, okay, and you want to go into the clothing, definitely now people are going about their usual duties, okay, like going to work, and now service to have started. So it means that if you go into clothing, it will now move, okay. But then the other aspect is, even the clothing that you are going to go into, if you go into kids clothing, trust you me, it will also go, because now the kids are also home and they keep changing clothes every now and then. They are now outgrowing their clothes, okay. So you just have to sit down and really study the season, the trend, what is happening now, what do people need now, so that you can also make something out of it. Now, the next point to consider is testing the idea you have, okay, before you jump into it, because it is money you are investing, it is your time you are investing, it is other people you are engaging. So before you jump in or go all out, you have to make sure that there is enough demand for the product or service on the market. Okay, one thing I've realized in Ghana is when we see people doing a particular business, maybe you go to an area, you see this person is selling this and people are buying. Now the next moment everybody wants to do that business. Okay, but if you have really sat down and thought about this particular business that you want to do, you just don't have to jump into it because people are doing it or because you have the idea. But then you have to really check if this person is doing it and it is running effectively. Does that mean if I do it, it will also work effectively? And even if it will work, then it means that the demand for that product is very high. Okay, and then even if the demand is also high, the next question is, can you afford the setup costs? That is the money you need to start that business. And will you be also able to stand out from your competitors? Because there is nothing new on the planet. Whatever business you have in mind, I believe definitely somebody is also doing the same. So you have to make sure that you will be able to stand out from all the other competitors. And no matter the idea you have to get a business plan. Okay, you have to write details of your goals and how you plan to achieve them. Most of the time we just have the idea of having a business, starting a business or something, but we don't put anything down. One time maybe your husband will ask you, okay, this thing that you want to do, how are you going to go about it? You just say ABCD. The next time you are saying a different thing. But then if you sit down and plan this thing well, okay, you write a plan for it, goals and how you plan to achieve them. Most of the time we just have the idea of having a business, starting a business or something, but we don't put anything down. One time maybe your husband will ask you, okay, this thing that you want to do, how are you going to go about it? You just say ABCD. The next time you are saying a different thing. But then if you sit down and plan this thing well, okay, you write a plan for it, your goals and how you are going to achieve it. Okay, it will really help you, because a business plan is very important, but there's one thing most businesses ignore. Okay, and one thing I like about business plan is it's it makes you weigh if you have better shots at success. Okay. Okay, so now the next thing to look at is fund. Okay, how to fund that dream business of yours. I personally don't like taking loans. Okay, sometimes looking at the project you have, maybe it's quite big. Okay, and you need something to start. I can use my case for instance. I was looking at a bigger picture. Okay, I wanted to have a very good business. Okay, but then I realized that I didn't have the capital to start. So what I did was I got a friend who was already into the sale of bed sheets. That wasn't my plan. Okay, she was in the sale of bed sheet. The auntie brings bed sheets and then she sells. So what I did was I spoke to her and then she was able to talk to the auntie on my behalf. So now what the woman was doing is I didn't have a dime, but I needed money to start something, a dream I've had over the years. Okay, since like almost like 4 years or 5 years. So when I got that opportunity, the woman now started giving me the bed sheet. So what I did was I put the bed sheet at my booth, and then when I take the kids to school, I show it to the parents. So I wasn't giving the woman any money because I didn't have any funds. Okay, so I show the best sheet to the people. They were interested. Some were interested. They buy it, and then when they buy, like when I sell like 10, I give the money, the woman's money to her, and then the profit I start saving it. Okay, and as I was selling it, I realized like when you go to the banks, people are like, "Oh, madam, you have bed sheets. Okay, can I get a towel?" So now I realized that okay, towel too is selling, but of a truth, that wasn't what I was planning of doing. I was thinking of something big, okay, going into cakes, going into clothing, like African clothing, getting machines and those things. But that one requires capital. okay, and not just any small capital. So now with the little money I saved from the bed sheet, that's the profit. I also started buying towels. Okay, I got a store that sells towels at a very affordable price. So I add something to it, and before I realized, I was able to get enough funds to start what I wanted to do. Okay, if you are a salary worker, okay, and you are paid every month, you can start saving a little aside, okay, so that you can use it to like start the business of your dream. And then the other thing is, if you are not a salary worker, you are home, maybe like because of the family, you have to resign and stay home, and there is no money to start anything. But then the business plan is there. Now you have the business plan, you have everything in place, but then you need the funds. What I advise is, I have a friend who once said, my husband, one of my husband's friends, he said that a wife always take a part of the money for running home, and they call it chobo. Okay, but he said that a wise wife will use the chobo for investments, but a very bad one will use the chobo to buy stuffs. Okay, so as even if you don't have the fund, the other way to also look at is saving a little from what you use to run the home. Okay, because in this case you are trying so hard not to like burden your husband or burden other people around you for the funds to run the business. If by God's grace we get somebody who also want to partner with you, okay, and they have the funds, they can also help you. I know sometimes we have people who don't have the idea but they have the money. So what they do is like you sell your business plan to them, and it should be somebody you trust, not just any other person. Okay, so when you sell the idea to them and they have the funds, something to fund it for you as while you work. Okay, but once it's a partnership, then definitely you have to share the proceeds from the business. So most of the time, I think once it's a start, it's best you save a little. You don't have to be in a rush. Okay, you save a little, then the little you have, you start off with it. You have to consider the location for your business. Most of the time, it is not necessary to quickly go and secure a store or an office or something. We know now, because of social media, people can sit at home and work. Okay, the good thing about starting from home is that when you start from home, this is not really good. Okay, it's kind of cheating government, but at the same time, it's like you are starting off. Okay, it's not really, I'm saying cheating government because you won't be paying taxes. Okay, and once you go out there, trust me, you rent a place. Aside your rent, your bill, like if it's a store, okay, your bill, you have an extra you pay when you're going to get the electricity units, okay, because you are using it for business. Okay, you have to pay for that. The VAT services people will be on you. These metropolitan people will all be coming. But then if you start from home, okay, you'll be saved from all these little funds, okay, that will be drawn from your capital. Okay, so I always advise that it's good you always start from home. Okay, when you start from home, it will get to a time, okay, as the business grows, you realize that home is not safe anymore. Okay, because God being so good, now we have these delivery services all over, so you can just call them, they'll come and pick the item. If it's an item, okay, they'll come and pick it and then they will deliver it for you. There are other cases that people have to come to your home. So you see, with time, as your customer base increases, you realize that it won't be safe to let people come into your home anymore. Then by that time too, you would have gathered enough funds, so now you can now launch out, okay, and secure a place out of the home. Other people also who are blessed with cars use the car for, so it's like a mobile service job, or how do I put it, like a mobile store or something. Okay, you can also look at that aspect. But sometimes, okay, just as we are starting, it's sometimes advisable to start from home. Okay, and you can do it just like our sister is now doing on the phone. Okay, it will surprise you, just the phone, because I basically started on the on social media. Okay, I was selling through my phone, and I was doing everything from home. But now, if you I have an order, there is no way I can do it in the house. Okay, because it will just not work out. So you realize that with time, you will naturally just go out of the home and then set up out of the house. The last point I would like us to consider this evening, then after that, if there are any questions, I think we have barely 10 minutes. If there are any questions, we can bring it up. Then we'll continue, God willing, on Thursday. Is you have to register the business. Okay, it really helps a lot. And when I talk about registering the business, there are um different types, if I can put it that way. We have a partnership, we have a limited liability, we have the sole proprietorship. So I'm sure when you get, it's not difficult registering the business. So when you register the business, you choose the one that really fits your plan and everything. So when you choose it, then you go ahead with the paperwork. And once the business is registered, you'll be able to open an account for the business. And then one other thing that is also helping business to grow is the mobile money system. Once you register the business and you open an account, you use the mobile money system as well. You register with them because it also helps the business. Now to answer Ira Esther's question, okay, it's a lot, but I'm sure at least there is one that will require less funds, okay, and not only less funds, but it will also fetch something. It will sell fast. Okay, you can start with that because you can't start all at the same time. It will be very difficult to manage it. So just start from the least, okay? But make sure that list will also fetch you something that will help you invest into the next one. Okay, so you give yourself time. Okay, you start with A. Okay, now I have A, B, C, D, E plan, but I realize that the D requires less funds, and sometimes you don't even need to do anything difficult for you to get the service or the product out to the people. So you start with that. You realize that as that one moves like 2 3 months, or sometimes it can even go for like a year. Okay, then you are able to gather funds. Then you invest it into maybe the business A. Okay, so before you realize, you'll be able to run a series of business starting from the least to the biggest. Yes, this to answer Agi's questions. Okay, it does matter a lot. Okay, because if you are doing the business and then you don't really have the people to really look at what you are doing, I mean it will be difficult to run the business. Okay, because these same audience most of the time tend to get customers for you, or even you get them as customers.